Well, good morning and happy Christmas to all the Cantercast Goodies fans and Winning Ways show fans, because we're going to put up a video today as a sort of Christmas video, and I'll certainly tell you about the state of Cantercast Goodies, which is the tipping service with the Cantercast Goodies tip sheet and the Cantercast Goodies horses to back 10 minutes before the off. So November was we had first three very good months. August, September, October showed a profit across all spectrums, and really good fun and went extremely well. But then we got the kick in the stomach. November was awful. It was a terrible month, and we lost a few subscribers. Not that many, but enough to make me feel, well, maybe this shouldn't be happening, and try a bit harder. So I tried a bit harder, and December so far has been much better, and certainly back into profitability. And Cantercast Goodies, we found a couple of really nice winners. But let me digress a little and talk about racing, because I watched this morning a very interesting 1 hour YouTube clip from Charles Savage with a guy called Colin, and it's Coffee with Colin. ABC said we should go and have a look at it. I looked at it and was fascinated by what Charles Savage had to say. And I was fascinated because he paints a very rosy picture, and more specifically about the state of racing and how much racing has improved since they took over from the dark days of Phumelela. Well, has it improved? My take is maybe not. I think there was an upward turn, because there had to be an upward turn after COVID and things started looking better. But the two or three main causes of concern, and I think there are three causes for real concern, is one, and the main one is declining totes. Because where do they get their money from? They get their money from the totalizator. The operating expenses come out of totalizator turnovers, and totalizator turnovers have gone down dramatically. If you just look on any day a bipod pool, I saw the bipod the other day was under 100,000. Well, the bipods used to be in the region of 200, 220. So you're talking about an up to 50% decline or 100% decline in your turnover on the exotics, and the most money is made on the exotics. What is interesting is go and look at the win and place pools, and the win pool is being manipulated. I have no doubt about it. I don't know who's manipulating it. Probably the bookmakers, but maybe there's a machine or two open. I see horses that jump away at 6 or 7 to 1. They hit the front going through the 300-meter mark, and suddenly they're paying R3.80. And they were paying 5, 6, 7 rand. This cannot happen, and really there's got to be a forensic investigation into that if you want to straighten up your house. Unfortunately, there does not seem to be an appetite for these people to do that. So the tote pools are of grave concern. The second thing is that we've lost Monday racing already. No more Monday racing. Now, Monday racing is an integral part of what we all built into South African racing, and I was part of the building process pre the Phumelela era. And what that was, that we had racing every single day of the week. We had dedicated days for racing, and Friday, Port Elizabeth came out the best, because Friday is the best day to bet. It seemed like people knock off early, and they've got time on their hands. And Mondays was a day of racing. They had to race on Mondays. Well, we don't race on Mondays anymore. That is a huge concern. And the biggest concern to me is the size of fields, and therefore that goes back to the number of foals being born, the number of horses being bred in this country, and how many horses we have to race. And the size of fields have declined markedly. In fact, it's an exception today to find a 14-horse field rather than the norm. If you go back 20 years, it was the norm. to find 14 horse fields. And the tote rules were set around that whole thing where you had to have more than 14 weighed out or start to be able to pay 3 places. Now it's been changed along the way, but it is indicative of the times we are going through. It really is a problem. And Charles Savage, I think, has done an amazing job, but he's done an amazing job with money. There's no profits. I can tell you, he keeps talking about the profitability of the new 240 Racing Channel platform. I can't see it. I don't know how it is. I know they say the viewers are up. Well, of course the viewers are up. The viewers are up from COVID time. There was no racing. So the viewership has gone up. And on top of that, what is important is that if you want to watch racing in South Africa, you've got to watch it on 240 or Gallop. So there's 2 basic channels that you can watch racing on, and there's a huge amount of people who bet out there on horses, mainly with the big betting companies, and as a result, the tote has fallen by the wayside, and you're not getting enough money out of the betting companies, although Hollywood Bets has propped up Cape Town and Durban racing, and they've done it out of the profits that they've made out of horse racing. No one can deny it. They can argue as much as they like it. They made it out of this, that, and the other forms of income. The totalizator has been the main income stream for these betting companies for many years. I do believe now that they're probably making a huge amount of money out of gaming. That's interesting, this gaming thing, because in their terms and conditions and what they say in their disclaimer afterwards, it's a fixed odds event. Now, if you play a slot machine, there's no such thing as a fixed odds event. That's not fixed odds. Fixed odds is when you know that that's what you're going to get back for if you win on a spin or on whatever. You don't know that as far as slot machines are concerned. That's not a fixed odds betting event. So I'm not sure that we're in a very much better position. Just to go back to Canterpass Goodies, we have 3 vacancies, 3 for the Canterpass Goodies tip sheet, and we have 4 vacancies for the Canterpass Goodies information, which is the Canter to the Post information. So if you're interested in joining, now's your time, because we take our new people on until the 1st of January, and that is when the new month starts, and then we close it, because we like to know exactly how many people we're talking to, how many people I've got as subscribers, and it's been extremely good. We've got some very, very satisfied customers who've made quite a lot of money out of us, so out of me, because I'm the one who does it. Eventually, I'm the fall guy. Anyway, put it all together. We never miss a day. You get your information on time. You get something in the morning that tells you all about the race meeting, a little summary of the day before. You get Durban and Joburg, the previews. I don't do Cape Town or Port Elizabeth. Mark van Deventer does Cape Town. Anyway, all of this is just part of the show and part of the service. The service is basically a tip sheet, which costs 850 Rand, 3 vacancies for the tip sheet, and I can't have more, because you've got to have a cut-off amount of people, because if you don't, you just flood the market. And as you see with some of these other tips, as they tip a horse, the horse shortens from 14 to 1 or 6 to 1 to 3 to 1 and 2 to 1 and even money and whatever, because there's so many people. Anyway, and there are 4 vacancies in the Canterpass Goodies section, which is the big section where you pay a premium, and 10 minutes before the off, we give you what we think. Boxing Day, New Year's Eve was a great example. 2 horses tipped, they both arrived. And I don't tip odds on shots, never ever. If there's an odds on shot in the race, I will not tip it, even if I think it's an absolute good thing, because I think that you can only go out of business tipping odds on shots and backing them. So I will try and find something that might be able to beat it if I think it's beatable, but I'm not sure that that's the case that often. In fact, only 1/3 of odds-on favourites win. So you're under pressure if you're backing odds-on horses. Certainly, I'm not talking about odds-on SPs. I'm talking about horses that have been odds-on at some stage. Because what's interesting in the betting is if you watch the betting, you see some of these horses that start 8 to 10, 9 to 10, they early in the betting. And by the time the race time comes, they're 5 to 2 or 3 to 1. They run accordingly, I assure you. Very, very few of those horses that take a big drift in the market ever win. And those are the things we're looking for. I'm looking for these horses going to the post. I'm looking for how well they go to the post. I'm looking for the signs that have shown me over 45 years of training horses that a horse is well in itself. And there are signs. Obviously, I can't divulge them because otherwise you'd be able to run your own tipping service. And you wouldn't need me. You do need me. So you've got to apply. The application details are coming up, and then once you've applied, we will send you the banking details, and you can then participate in my tipping services. Going into month 6, it's going to be good. That will be January. From me, James Goodman, hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll be with you in the near future.